Hello and welcome to episode 4 of The Smart Bride. Today we're going to be talking all about dresses. I think this is definitely my expertise, so I'm super excited for this show. If you haven't noticed or you haven't tuned in, I've really kind of been going in sequence with my episodes in realistically where you should be at with the planning. You know, I started off with the resources available to you in Windsor. We talked about the wedding shows. We also talked about, budget, destination weddings, what style of wedding you're going to be, you should be looking at based on your budget. And today we're going to be talking about dresses. So typically, shopping for a wedding gown is probably one of the most rewarding things to most women, especially when they find the one, okay? And you know what? It's not easy for everyone, okay? I've got some clients that come in and find that perfect dress, the very first one that they try on. And then I've got some that have been to 5 stores and tried on over 150 dresses and are so confused and overwhelmed and, upset. And they're going, why am I not getting this feeling of, I found the one, and they want to get those tears and they want to make their mom cry. It doesn't always happen, okay? So everyone's a little bit different. So typically, I want to say you should be shopping for a wedding gown. Ideally, 8 months prior to the wedding is like the absolute latest. Now, I see brides typically you're going to be in between about 8 months to 16 months. Preferably more in the 1 year mark is where you want to be shopping. You should be expecting, if you're looking to order a wedding gown, which most stores are going to do for you. So typically when you go into a wedding gown store, they've got a bunch of samples. So you walk into the store, they've got multiple samples for you to try on. Now, typically these samples can be ordered in different colors. Some of them are available in white, ivory, champagne, blush, different tones where you mix, ivory over blush, so forth. So you're going to go in and you're going to try the dress on, and you know what? You might try it on the floor model, which is a size 12. They're going to clip it to you and, fit it to what your size is. But if that's the dress that you fall in love with and you're a size 6, they're going to order you the size 6. So when ordering a dress in, it is going to take you anywhere between about 6 to 8 months to get a dress, okay? And sometimes longer than that. So you really want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time and not rushing, okay? Can you get the dress a little bit sooner? Yeah, but you're going to pay a rush charge. So it depends on if you want to save, that extra couple $100 in rush fees for one. And a lot of the rest of the planning is kind of around your dress. So, your bridesmaids' dresses, you don't want them to clash with your wedding gown. You don't want them to be overwhelming to your wedding gown. You really want to be the center of attention. And I know that some brides tell me they don't want to, but unfortunately, honey, it's your wedding day and it's going to be all about you. So whether you like it or not, that's the facts. Now, when coming in, you're going to want to make sure that you schedule an appointment, okay? Now, do I have clients walk in? Yes, but ideally, if you are looking to have, that very intimate setting where the bridal consultant is going to give you her full attention and can really work with you and give you, the best advice and really give you her time of day, you're going to want to come in with a scheduled appointment. Unless you're just kind of going out to look on your own, which I have some clients do. And sometimes I actually recommend that. Go out to the stores, see what's out there, get an idea. You can also get an idea through Pinterest and Instagram. Now, the one thing that I am finding is Pinterest and Instagram, as soon as my lovely ladies get engaged, the first thing they do is go on Pinterest and Instagram. And what I find is you go on there and you're seeing these absolutely stunning dresses. But guess what? These dresses are like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. They're from Dubai or Australia, overseas somewhere. And the chances of you wanting to pay that type of money are probably slim to none. So what I find is a lot of my clients, they go and they look at these absolutely stunning dresses online, and then they come in and they're expecting to see these dresses here in Windsor, and they can't be found. You've got to have a little bit of a realistic mindset as well. And the dress is going to fit within your budget. I mean, if you've got, under $1,000, you're looking at a sample gown. And if you don't know what a sample gown is typically if you go into a store and you try on a gown in store, there is a chance that if it fits you right and it's the exact dress that you want, there's a possibility that you can take the floor model, which will save you some money. Okay. Also, most stores once or twice a year are going to have a sample gown sale where they reduce the majority of their dresses and sell them at a discounted price, but you're going to take the dress as is off the floor. You're not going to be ordering in, so you cannot change the colors. You're probably going to have some minor alterations, just like anything, because when ordering a wedding gown, and I preach this to all of my clients, they don't come in custom, okay? They're standardized sizing, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you're always going to need some minor alterations, okay? Typically a hem, you're going to need a bustle. If you're not familiar with a bustle, that's where the train actually comes up on the back of the dress, and there's usually some hooks or some buttons to pull that train off the ground, so that way when you're dancing or when you're walking, no one's stepping on it, because that's the last thing you want. If someone steps on your lace or your tulle and puts a hole in it with their heels, the dress is pretty much over. It's very difficult to fix that type of stuff. So, and to be honest with you, alterations are not cheap on a wedding gown. I always like to tell my clients that they should be budgeting probably anywhere between about $250 to about $600 for alterations. If you're doing some major changes to the dresses, a lot of custom work, then you're going to want to, you're going to look at a higher price point than the $600, but typically you're going to be in between that $250 and $600. Hems are going to be starting around $180 and going up from there. You've got to remember that a wedding gown is very tedious. You're working with very delicate materials, and it needs to be done right. And for a wedding gown to look absolutely phenomenal on you, you want it to be fitted specifically to your body. And that's another thing too, which, some of my clients don't know, is when you should be doing alterations and how long alterations are going to take. So kind of getting back to how far in advance you should be ordering the dress. The reason why I say a minimum of 8 months is because if it takes 6 months to come in, you're going to at least need 2 months for alterations, and that's really going to be cutting it close. Now, 2 months for alterations, you're going to have multiple fittings, okay? And you really are going to want to wait to the very last minute to do those alterations. I find a lot of women, their weight fluctuates. And I know me personally, I can go up 5-10 pounds in a matter of a month, a couple weeks. So I know on myself, 10 pounds is at least a size. So when you're paying that type of money for alterations, the last thing you want to do is pay for it twice. So typically, again, just going to put it back out there, is ordering, you should be looking for your wedding gown. I would say at least probably 8 months is cutting it, but 10 months to 16 months in advance, okay? Even I've seen girls buy their dresses up to 2 years in advance. So it's completely up to you. The only thing is, 2 years and beyond that, you're going to find that the styles change. And that's quite a distance in advance. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend the 2-year mark, but I wouldn't surpass that 16, 18 month mark. Now we talked about booking an appointment, and, basically the fact of that is you want to have that full attention. You want to make everything about you. You want to make sure that you're getting the best of the best. And when I say that, when you put on a wedding gown, if there's no one there to clip it on you and to fit it to your body, and maybe to show you something else that's similar, or hear what you like or dislike about the dress, there's really no point of going in, because you're going to miss so many opportunities. A lot of clients come in and they have this vision, okay? And they tell me they want a ball gown. Well, guess what? They come in and I'm feeding them ball gowns after ball gowns after ball gowns. And I'm like looking at their body or their shape, and I'm saying, let me put something fitted on you. Let's try a different silhouette. Let's try something A-line. Let's try something, mermaid, fit and flare, or something very fitted, or something sheath. And sometimes when they see themselves in something different, it changes their perspective. I've had tons of clients who come in and want one dress or see themselves in this style. That's all they've tried on. That's all they want to try on. So sometimes keeping an open mind is key, because I've turned a lot of clients into a completely different silhouette. And sometimes they just see something different on them, or they think, I'm plus size myself. So, a lot of plus size women think, I can't wear something fitted. It's not going to look good on me. It's going to show my rolls, or it's going to show my cellulite. No, 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 no. If you have body, wedding dresses, honestly, they just accentuate your beautiful curves. And I think you can agree with this. Every time I look at a bridal party or, wedding pictures, the bride always looks absolutely stunning. Even if she was wearing a bag of, like a plastic bag, she would look gorgeous. Just the glow in her face, her makeup, her hair, you can just see it. She's just absolutely stunning that day. She's gorgeous, and it shows through the pictures. So when you put on that dress and it transforms your body and it makes you feel good, and you go, wow, like I look good, I feel good. It really shows. So finding the right dress is key. And I mean, when you're going back 10 years from now, you're going to be looking at those pictures, and you want to be happy with what you chose. And the other thing is don't buy for somebody else. Okay. I've got some clients that come in and go, you know what? Well, my mom wants to see me in a ball gown, or my mom wants me in something fitted, or, well, guess what? It's your wedding, nobody else's. So you have to buy what you love, okay? So sometimes it's important, to choose who you bring with you kind of wisely. If you know that you have a very opinionated family, maybe having a conversation with them before and saying, like, look, I want you guys here in the process, but I need you guys to respect, my vision and what I'm going for my wedding. I know that you may want to see me in a ball gown, but I don't see myself in a ball gown. I'll try one on for shits and giggles, but ideally, this is how I see myself. And you guys have to respect that, because there's multiple times where, a bride comes in and she comes in with her entourage, and she's got all 6 of her bridesmaids, mother-in-law, grandma, mom, and I'm in the back and I put the dress on her and we're clipping it, and she's having a moment in front of the mirror going, oh my God, I think this is it. I think this is a dress. And, I put a veil on her. We might put on a necklace, and I'm going, okay. And, you're hoping that when she walks around that corner, those 8 people on that other wall are all going to agree. And sometimes it doesn't happen that way. So you can't let what they say or think, detour you from your own, your own wants. So, and what you feel is best for you. And I mean, the other thing that you've got to look at too is when you come into a bridal salon, the chances of the dress fitting you perfect is very slim to none. So, you've got to remember, you've got to clip these dresses. They've got to be fitted. And when you're seeing a dress that's not your size on you, I know that it can be a little bit hard to envision, but you've got to remember that if you like the way it looks, if you're trying on a 14 and you like the way it looks and you're a size 6, then it's really going to look good when it comes in that size 6 and it's fitted to you, and you've got no, rippling, no lines, and the dress is steamed. I mean, you've got to take those you have to take those things into consideration. And the other thing that I want to talk to is what you should bring. A lot of clients don't know. They come in and they've got neon bras or neon panties. My recommendation, you're coming to try on a white wedding gown, bring a strapless bra. For the most part, wedding gowns do have cups in them. So if you're comfortable with not wearing a bra, ideally you probably won't, especially with what's trending right now is you're going to see a lot of low backs, again, strapless. Something strapless that comes up high enough in the back, you can definitely get away with a strapless bra. And then some designs, you're really not going to be able to wear a bra at all. I mean, we can add in a secondary cup in the bra if you do want a little bit of volume, a little bit of a lift. There's also the silicone pads that you can put in there. And those are all things that When you come into the store, the bridal consultant should be going over with you the different options to really give you that desired look. And don't be overwhelmed by alterations either in any custom work. I mean, sometimes clients come in and they say, I don't want strapless. I don't want strapless. That does not mean to say, you know what, I'm not going to try on any strapless dresses. The base to every wedding gown in most cases is a sweetheart neckline, which is a strapless neckline, okay? Your typical just sweetheart, okay? And you know how easy that is to throw sleeves on, add a tank top strap on, add a cap sleeve, depending on what the back looks like. So don't ever count those out. And sometimes I have to kind of break that to my client and say, look, this dress is, you know what I mean? This is kind of everything that you want. I know it doesn't have the straps, but we can make that happen. So that's one thing to take into consideration. Back to the undergarments. My recommendation, nude bra, nude panties. If you are thinking about wearing any type of girdle, like bustier, Spanx, you can bring those as well. I find, personally myself, wedding gowns have a lot of structure in them. So you really don't need those unless you really are, uncomfortable with a certain area in your body. But what I find is once women start packing those Spanx on and bustiers, that fat has to go somewhere else. So, I mean, if I'm pushing my rolls and my stomach, they're going to start pouring out my back. So if you've got something that is a lower back line and now you've pushed your fat up, it's going to look like you've got some back rolls. So you probably aren't going to be pleased with that as well. But we can go over that. So if you do have them and you are planning on wearing them, definitely bring them in. You want to see what you're going to look like with them, as well as without them. So sometimes some of my clients come in and I say, you know what, let's try it on with it. And if you don't like the way it looks, then we can take it off and let's see what it looks like without it. If you're comfortable without it, I would highly recommend not wearing them. I think we can all vouch that, bustiers, girdles, Spanx, they're not the most comfortable piece of clothing. And I mean, when you're going to be standing in a wedding gown for 10, 12, 14, even possibly 16 hours, you want to make sure that you're comfortable. And that's something else I stress when shopping for a wedding gown is make sure you buy a dress that you're comfortable in. I know me personally, if I'm uncomfortable or I'm too hot, I get agitated. And when you're dealing with that many people on your special day, you don't want to be irritable. You want to be having fun. You don't want to be going, oh, well, I'm uncomfortable, and you're pulling your dress up, or it's too tight and you can barely walk. And so unless you're okay with that and you feel like, you know what, it's not going to bother me, I'm going to put up with it for 12 hours to get the look that I want, by all means, great. But, also ask yourself, okay, am I really going to be able to stand in this dress with heels, with it being this tight or this much material, or, something's rubbing under your armpit. So you've really got to make sure that you're comfortable. What else do I have here? So we talked about the right entourage. You want to come into, you don't want to wear, I don't want to say don't wear any makeup, because you want to come in where you feel good about yourself, but you have to remember that you're trying on $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, possibly $4,000 or $5,000 dresses. The store owners don't really care for people who wear a full face of makeup. You're going to risk getting lipstick on the dresses, bronzer, makeup. So, I mean, do a light makeup that day. Do your hair. Make sure you feel good. That's key. I find that, some girls come in and they're coming from the gym or something silly like that. You're not going to feel, like a bride when you put that dress on. You want to make sure that you're presentable so that when you see yourself in the mirror in that dress, you're going, wow, yeah, I look good. So that's one thing. Now, if you are looking to save a little bit of money when shopping for a wedding gown, I mean, depending on what your budget, typically here you're going to find that the average budget for a wedding gown is probably about $2,000. it's rare to find a wedding gown for under $1,000. If you are looking for under that $1,000 mark, you're probably going to be looking at a sample gown. So if that is something that you're interested in, definitely maybe call around the stores, see if they're having a sample gown sale come up. I think I've also seen that Opportunity Bridal that kind of goes around and they go from city to city. But the one thing that you're going to find with sample gowns is typically sample gowns are gowns that the store is trying to get rid of. So, older models, maybe dresses that aren't selling well, or, maybe were ordered in the wrong size, or, thought that they were going to be a good sell or aren't a good sell. Or even, they've sold the dress multiple times and they want to get rid of it because they don't want to flood the entire city with, the same dress over and over again. Personally, in my store, I kind of have a rule of thumb. I like to sell the dress maybe 2-3 times and I get rid of it. And that's simply for the fact that I understand that when you're coming to buy a wedding gown, when you're spending $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, you don't want to be scrolling on your Instagram 3, 4, 5 months before your wedding date and you see a girl wearing the same exact dress that you bought. It's a little bit discouraging. I know I would have a hard time with that because I'm all about, I express myself definitely through fashion, and, a lot of these girls are here to make a statement. You want to look the best. You want to be the best. And I mean, I think you can sit there on the other side of the screen right now and agree that you don't want to know that 6 other girls bought the same dress as you. Or you don't want one of your girlfriends coming up to you and going, oh yeah, my friend Jessica bought that dress too. She got married last year. That's not really, something that you want to hear. So, I guess you could, if you were, I do have clients ask me how many times I've sold the dress, or, that's something that I probably would ask the bridal consultant. You don't have to. They're probably not going to appreciate you asking that, but I think honesty in this game, especially this day and age, is key. So I'm very transparent with my clients. I can't vouch on the other stores, but I know personally myself, I'm very, straightforward. So the other thing is coming in and at least having an idea. So when I talked about Pinterest and Instagram, when my clients come in, if they've got a little bit of, if they've got a few dresses pinned, I can at least kind of see what you're looking at. And the other option too is custom. If you cannot find what you're looking for, the next route is custom. Now, doing a custom gown, I'll be honest with you, it's tough. It's hard it's almost like an emotional roller coaster. I've done a few custom gowns. I've designed some wedding gowns myself, and I have an amazing seamstress. So we've started doing custom wedding gowns, and I think that's kind of where we're going. And the reason why I say that is, getting back to Pinterest and Instagram, is you girls are coming in with these pictures when, I kid you not, these dresses are $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And let's be honest, if you've got a $5,000, $10,000 budget, you're probably not shopping in Windsor. You're going to be either shopping in the States or you're going to be going to Toronto. And you're probably going to be picking up a high name brand. But what I've kind of done is, because I'm seeing a trend in this, is I've sat down with my seamstress and said, look, I need to get some of these pieces in my store, but I can't find them. Unless I'm willing to pay that type of money, which Windsor is not going to, the money just isn't there. Most people's budgets aren't there. So it wouldn't be a smart move on my end, on a business end of things. So what I've done is I've designed some pieces myself. I'm working on a couple pieces right now with my seamstress. And so basically you can come into the store, and if you don't find what you're looking for, or you've tried on multiple styles and you say, you know what, I like the top to this dress, but I love the bottom to this dress. Or I seen this dress online and I've tried on a couple styles similar to it, but nothing, like I need something like this, or I really like how the back goes on this. We can design you something. And again, I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's hard to envision. There's lots of steps to it. There's multiple fittings. The base of a wedding dress looks like crap, to be honest with you. Your first fitting, you're going to be like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And I can say that because I've done it myself. So, I mean, I've never done a custom dress a custom wedding gown for myself. I have my dress in grade 8 was custom, which I designed and went and picked out the material. So, I did it then, and it is a little bit of a, I don't want to say a burden. It's very stressful. It's, you ask yourself, is it going to come out the way I want it? Am I envisioning it? Some people just can't envision or let their mind kind of imagine what it would look like. And I get that. It's not for everybody. A custom gown is for somebody who really knows what they want, knows it's going to look good on them, and wants a one-of-a-kind piece. So if you're looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, you can't find anything, you've shopped around, and the dresses you're falling in love with are those $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 dresses, come pay me a visit. We can sit down with my seamstress. Her name's Delilah. She's magnificent. And we can go over, options, pricing, and so forth. You're definitely not going to be paying, those $10,000, $15,000 price points. Ideally, what I've seen in my store is custom wedding gowns are going to range anywhere between about $3,000 right through to $6,000, depending on the detailing. But you have to remember, with doing custom, that dress is going to fit you specifically. So your measurements. So you're going to need, no alterations. So right then and there, we've already talked about alterations are going to range anywhere between $250 to $600. So right there, you've got that saving. So if you kind of take that into consideration, doing custom is not really that bad. And I think it's a great opportunity. And I think it's a great opportunity for girls who are really creative and want to showcase, their personality through their dress, or have this vision and they can't find it, or it's going to cost them too much to do. So custom is kind of the way out. So I think that kind of wraps up everything today that I really wanted to talk about. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Check us out. Episode 5 will be coming soon, and we've got lots more to talk about. Thank you very much.